Violence has erupted outside the University of KwaZulu-Natal in Pietermaritzburg. Students and police are clashing on the streets surrounding the campus. Some protesters have also stoned passing vehicles. Officers have responded, firing rubber bullets and tear gas. Our reporter Dasen Thathiah is there watching the situation as it unfolds on the ground for us. Good morning to you, Dasen. Firstly, when exactly did these confrontations between students and police begin in Pietermaritzburg today?
Well, Kathy, this has been continuing since the morning. In fact, just excuse my voice while I speak to you. I've just been hit with a bit of tear gas as police moved into the residences. It actually started earlier this morning when when students at the residence set fire to some of the furniture as well as the other refuse that was outside the Now Harbour residence, which is exactly opposite the University of KwaZulu-Natal in PM. So what we're seeing at the moment is you're seeing a situation where you've got bystanders on the one side at the university campus, which is on Allen Payton Avenue in Pietermaritzburg. It's one of the main roads here. And you've got bystanders watching along the one side. In the middle, you've got police. And then on the other side, you've got the Now Harbour residents, where there's actually quite a small group of protesters inside. I mean, we looked at it earlier, and it couldn't have been more than about 30 or 40, what we believe to be students at least, inside there. So what they've done is that they've gathered stones and pieces of bricks and loaded them into green refuse bins, and they're actually using that as a little bit of using that as ammunition almost, in this battle against police. They've been stoning passing motorists, stoning vehicles. There was a little bit of an accident earlier when there was a bucky that reversed into another car because students had been throwing stones over the fences. The police have now called in some reinforcements. They brought in an armored vehicle. There are other police vans around here as well. Their numbers have grown compared to the morning when we got here, when there was just a small group of them keeping an eye on the situation. But they're now actually retaliating after these protesters had been taunting them all morning.
Dasen, we're watching some of the pictures that you've sent us about what happened earlier on. And in this particular footage, I mean, students are directly stoning motorists, and they cross the road from Nando's. Tell us about how that now forms part of the protest. Why are they attacking the motorists?
The group of students, and like I said, it's this group that's been inside, a very small group at that, they seem to be very angry. In fact, when we went around the side as well, and we were trying to film what is going on, they were chasing us away, telling us to leave the premises, and it's not even clear which part of the protest this is. There seems to be a split in the students' protest action that we've seen, because as we speak, there's a different protest that we hear that's happening at Howard College campus at UKZN. Then there's this one, there's the one that we see in Pietermaritzburg. There were some reports of protests, smaller in scale, and at the Westville campus. So no one has actually come out and said this is what we are protesting against at this point. Because yesterday, when we spoke to the SRC at Howard campus, they said that they were listening to students and they were trying to take into account what is the way forward after the fees announcement that we had. So they were still yet to make a decision on that. And one of the ideas that was bandied about was the issue of boycotting classes. But it seems that no one in the SRC was aware of what is going to be happening here in Pietermaritzburg this morning. It almost seems like it's a rogue group that's broken away and decided to take matters into their own hands.
I mean, you really bring me to my next point, Dasen. Do we know that those that have been caught in this video are in fact students there?
That's something that we can't confirm at this point. We haven't gotten the opportunity to speak to many of them. Like I mentioned earlier, they are quite angry. They are busy inside. They were breaking down a fence a little while ago, breaking some of the bricks to throw at students, to throw at police as well. So we can't confirm whether they are indeed students, but what we do know is that they are inside the UKZN residence, which is the Now Harbour residence, opposite the university. So it stands to reason then that they are actually from this campus. but their motives at this point are not clear. Like you mentioned as well, the passing motorists have nothing to do with the battle that other students seem to be fighting. But fortunately now the road has been closed off to a large extent. There is a traffic police vehicle that's parked at the bottom, and they are making sure that motorists are safe when they are in this vicinity.
And I imagine that driver that reversed into another vehicle behind it, he must be quite enraged this morning.
That's right. I think fortunately people have been keeping an eye now on Twitter and other media reports that have been going around, so they are avoiding the area. But motorists did seem to be both upset as well as scared when they drove past. Many of them had driven into this area not knowing what had been happening until they noticed vehicles in front of them trying to make U-turns, and that's when they also tried to exit through the side roads around the campus.
All right, Dasen, that's where we leave it with you for now. Dasen Thathiah, he's at the University of KwaZulu-Natal in Pietermaritzburg for us this morning.